What is up, guys? This is Frenzy. Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to jump into Nobody 2406. Castle levels 15. We'll jump into it on my night. Go through it pretty quickly. And see what he's got. Alright, so, I don't think this is really going to work. I see people trying to use Stairmaster still, and I don't see them really working anymore. It's just too slow. Like, yeah, the hook can be fast if it's like level 4 and stuff, but I don't really see many people getting hooked by this just because there's so much vision. It's so hard to like land those hooks properly and stuff, especially with your Hunger Bots being only level 3. I actually don't have any potions walking into this, so this could be a little difficult, I suppose. I should probably be a little bit careful to see if I can get through it without using any potions. Should be able to. Alright, so then there's a bunch of slow traps. And I can abuse these corners really easily having archers here, as well as use this mine if I had to block the archer shots. Probably not the best room for archers just in general, because it's not very wide open. And I'm gonna assume it wasn't skippable and you like pulled it through the wall or something, hopefully. Alright, that bad dog runs way too far out in front to actually get off his area of effect on anything useful. And you can kind of see how this corner abuse really works here against you. But I'm still not doing amazingly well. I'm really just trying to get this Zeke killed off. And the rest of this isn't that big of a deal. I like the Puppeteer, kind of. He is kind of annoying for me to deal with. But I think it's only because I wasn't able to kill the Zeke before engaging this entire group. If I killed off the Zeke, I don't think it would have been nearly as hard as it was. So you might want to do something like switch the Zeke and the Scorpio, and have the Scorpio pull through into the Zeke's group, so you can have a better chance of aggroing both at once. Alright, so this I don't like as much. I don't think that they're worth it. You're noticing the same thing here. Like, yes, I'm a little bit over leveled. So I guess, what was your level? 14, 16, somewhere in that range? Maybe I wouldn't be one-shotting these guys if I was a lower level, like around your level, maybe. But if people are still one-shotting or two-shotting these skeletons, like, they're just not going to do enough, I don't think. If they, like, one-shot volley them and warriors are like two-shotting them normally, I don't think they're really going to work out that well for you. Alright, so you have kind of a springboard trap here. I think that the age of springboard traps are dead right now, until they do something about Fog of War and stuff. I don't see these really ever hitting anyone anymore. Or at least no one's smart. Like, if they play stupid and they just kind of rush to the end of castles, I could see it probably working if you change the direction or something like that. But it's not something that you can really rely on, I don't think, anymore. I've taken them all out of my castle. You really have to rely on sustained damage in order to try to kill people. And even that, it's pretty difficult now, because a lot of the abilities in this game require you to have a skill shot, kind of, or a skill dodge. I mean, it's not a skill shot because you're not doing it. But the AI has a skill shot where it's dodgeable for the hero. So there's really very few units that are just generally good this patch. Alright, and for the boss room, I think this is fine. I don't really like the Dr. Skull being on Resurrect, though. Like, I can let him resurrect everything in here, and it's just not that big of a threat. They don't do any damage, they do like 17 damage to me. So maybe at your level that's like 40, that's just not enough to justify 10 points worth of this. It really doesn't take all that long for me to clean these up. I would much rather it be on heal if you want to use a Dr. Skull, or just take out the Dr. Skulls in general. So yeah, we'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up is ChaosJumper, castle level 22. Alright, so those are probably pulling through the side over here somewhere. And let's see what it is. Okay, it's a Punch Drunk. Interesting. I'm not sure why I fear this group at all, though. I'm trying to figure out like why I would fear just standing here against this group. Like literally just standing in the middle of it and volleying it and doing AoEs. There's no damage here. That's the main problem that I'm seeing. Like, sure, Punch Drunk can, I think, slow down attack speed and slows down your movement rate, but what are you really accomplishing with that? If I pull both groups either way, it's just not enough damage. The real damage from Scorpios comes from their bites, and so people don't really use Punch Drunk because, for one, you're not getting the hook, which would pull you to the Scorpio's mouth and allow them to bite you, and then two, the knockback effect on the pinball strike, I think, buys a little bit more time. The only time you would use this is to combo it with something else to make sure it hits, like to make sure a Zeke shot hits. You'd use like a Hungerbot Punch Drunk or something like that. It's pretty difficult to use Punch Drunk effectively. I've seen it very rarely. Alright, so I mean this guy's a little bit more annoying for knights. For archers it's not too big of a deal. I think I still have one in my castle. I'm probably going to get rid of it soon. I just don't like the unit that much. In its current state, at least. I don't think it's worth the points. And again, I've talked about the specializations on that specialization on Smelly Warriors in the past. So, yeah, I mean, you just saw it there. I can let them get close to me with Caltrops. It doesn't really do anything against archers. Not my favorite specialization in the world. I can see this being a little bit more difficult for warriors having the Stairmasters like this, because they'll be teleporting all over the place, but archers and mages aren't going to have much of a problem at all. Alright, I'm guessing this is probably pulling something towards me. Yes, it is. Alright. So that was a good little flank that you had there, and especially if someone rotates their camera like I did, they have to rotate it back and then rotate it again, which is good. Alright, then you have this Time Waster group, which, if it drops any, health globes at all, it's bad for you, because I'm already really low life. So if someone's like me and hasn't used a potion yet, it would be a way of them healing. Unless you're just going for time wasting in general, but it doesn't really seem like you are. So I mean, there's a little bit of health for me. That's kind of for free. It's not much, not a big deal. You just have to be very cautious of where you put your... I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but I guess it was. Where you put your tank groups in your castle. Be very cautious of that. I really do think that time-wasting castles are probably the way to go for this patch. I think there needs to be a lot of changes. Although people have been complaining that 4 potions isn't enough. It's really difficult for me to dictate where like the average player is in the game, because I still don't have any problems. You know, I mean, I did that one video where I did an archer video with doing no potions was kind of the theme of the video. And I think that's pretty much possible for my archer, because it feels very easy for me to dodge everything that's coming at me. But I have done things like switched over to blacksmith gear, and I've seen how difficult it would be with just blacksmith gear. So I guess if the items are really still screwed up or something, I could see it being a problem. Alright, so you have another one of these IMAXs. This punch drunk's a little bit better because it makes me slow, which helps your IMAX hit shots. But I still don't think it's worth 12 points. You notice like your entire boss room didn't really take me all that much time to get through, and it didn't do all that much damage. I actually healed through the boss room. So that's not really ideal for you because it's like your strongest mob group. I would strongly suggest thinking about switching over your Scorpios to something else, either Hook or Pinball Strike, depending on which one you want. And then IMAXs, I mean, they're good against Knights, so if it's working and that's the way that you want it planned out for, you know, dealing with Knights a bit better, then I'd say you can leave them in. So we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, lastly we have FlamingTomato, castle level 24. Jump into it on my archer, see if I can use no potions on this as well. I'm gonna pull 2 groups because, you know, that's just how I am. Seems like a reasonable spot to volley. I wish I would have headshotted there. Or I mean crit, not headshotted. I did headshot. I mean crit. So I'm probably gonna have to use a potion, like, pretty soon, to be honest. It's possible I won't, because I should get 2 health globes, so that's alright. I can keep going with this, even another health globe there. Alright, so this room in general was pretty standard. Not really much to say about it. I used it as well in my castle. A lot of people... Oh my god, I used a potion. Trying to rotate. I don't know if a lot of other people do that, but every once in a while I go for the A and D keys and I hit Q instead. Alright. So, I don't know, the Cyclops with Scorpio is okay, but I do think that, like, the hitbox on Cyclops isn't enormously big, so it's a lot of the time you can pull through the Cyclops' hitbox and then, you know, it doesn't hit, right? So, you have to think about that. Like, a couple of times I got snagged by the Scorpio, but the Cyclops ended up missing me because of, you know, low hitbox and stuff like that. I think that that specific combo would be better once you get up to the level, the rank 7, the blue Cyclopses, because their hitbox is so much larger. As it is now, it's debatable that that's like a worthwhile group of units. Alright, so that almost hit me. Actually, I just got hit by all the archers because I stood there and volleyed. But that's actually pretty good. I like the visual thing that you had going on here. Like, as soon as I got into the point where I could see these, they were already aggroed, so I like that quite a bit. That's good. That takes a lot of testing to figure out when the walls go down for the hero, and being able to still kind of abuse vision like that. It's not something I've actually gotten into all that much, because I really haven't put a ton of time into this patch. Kind of like I said I just needed a break from Mighty Quest in general. So I've really just been, you know, running these viewer castles, and I watched some of my replays. Like, I mean, I did have a day or two where I didn't log on at all, and then I came back and I had like 41 replays to watch, which is insane. I still get attacked a lot because I guess, mainly because of my YouTube channel. A lot of people run practice runs against me. See if they can beat my defense in time and stuff. I have gotten broken a couple of times. I think the highest or lowest that is gotten through to me is a level 28 got through. I don't think any level 27s or 26s have gotten through, and no one under me, I don't think either. But I could be wrong. So I'd say more so that this composition specifically is kind of weird. The Cyclops and Mega Mutton doesn't really make sense to me. Like, the speed difference is huge, so you have to run back farther from the Mega Mutton anyway. I don't think the Cyclops will ever catch up to get his hit off. I would almost say that, like, a charged Cyclops would be better than the one that you had there, but I don't really think either one is that great. I would much prefer having like a healer and a Defendatron on the healer or something like that instead, or even like a bad dog. Alright, so this is a new one. A Defendatron with a IMAX. So far I haven't really taken any damage. Maybe like one tick. It does add a level of space control that might be able to be used with something else, like in a boss room or something. But I think by itself, I mean, you're noticing how easy this is to dodge because they just take forever. They're really good once you get up to high-level Stairmasters, where you can have 4 of those going on at once, and they all do 200 damage a tick. Then the level, like if you can just separate their attacks to make them, you know, hit in different areas, right? Like the animations or whatever, like turn them specific ways so that their attacks go off at different times. It's pretty good. But with only one of them there, it's pretty easy to dodge. I think maybe the size of that ability for the IMAX should be higher, or the damage, but the size would be kind of cool if it was like the size of this mat or something, kind of like double the radius of the normal Stairmasters. I think that would be interesting. Alright, so I like this because you have the Zeke kind of in front of the Defendatron. It took me a while, I have to dodge around waiting for this. I'm not going to make it in time, but I've been talking, so that's pretty normal for these videos. Alright, what do we have? IMAX, and then Scorpio. And I think that's it. Okay, so 2 Defendatrons. I'll volley the Defendatrons. And I'll focus down the one right here. I'm gonna have to use a potion for real this time. And miss a headshot. But I mean, this is actually an interesting combo, because you could see there the Scorpio is almost working with the IMAX to pull me into him. Like if I get a pull right here, then I will take extra damage from the IMAX's thing. But other than that, like combo that you're doing, it's not like super difficult of a boss room. I don't think it's bad though. I think it's interesting. It's tanky enough with the 2 Defendatrons that it's not like the quickest boss room in the world, and it has the opportunity to do quite a bit of damage. It did seem like the radius of those, that specialization is larger. I believe it seems to be a little bit larger when I looked at it in the bigger room. I think the regular Stairmasters are a little bit smaller, but I think if they could push it a little bit more, if that's the way that they wanted to buff the IMAX. I just think it needs something. But yeah, that is number 3, so we'll end the video here. If you guys enjoyed, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of viewer castles, you can email me at frenzycastleruns or comment on my castle. You can comment on the video, but sometimes it gets to a point where, you know, 2 or 3 weeks after a video comes out, because I have so many of them, I can't go through and look at every comment every day. So I would prefer an email or comment on my castle. I usually don't miss it there. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.